In this video, I'm going to show you 5 project kickoff templates that I'm going to use from now on. A project kickoff template is a document with placeholders that people fill out in order to get clarity in the beginning of a project. These are individual documents that you can use to start a project. They will give you concise information at a glance without overcomplicating it. If you're starting a new project and you are not using a project kickoff template yet, you might want to consider using one. My reason for doing this is we are making our own software as a service in my company, and I'm documenting everything on this channel. It's going to be a software as a service that's an internal video sharing platform for companies, and the software can be self-hosted, so it's very good for data privacy. And as we're documenting everything on this channel, the project kickoff, of course, is a part of that. It's actually the first step. Using a project kickoff document actually has a lot of benefits. First, it will keep you on the high level, meaning you can think strategically of what you want to reach. Secondly, you would have something to communicate with. That's a document you can send to your coworkers or to your advisors in order to ask for feedback. And thirdly, it would help you break down the project into milestones so you'd know what to focus on first. Look at the last one from the serial entrepreneur Shan, Puri, which is especially interesting. I put all these templates into one Google Doc that you can download and copy under tillcallers.com/project-kickoff. It's one Google Doc with all 5 of them. So if there's a question that you don't like, you can just skip it and you can kind of take the best blocks that you need in order to make your own project kickoff document. Okay, now let's get started. Number 1 is a project kickoff document from Almanac.io. This is a bit like Notion. It's a project management tool that's very easy to customize. And I quickly want to go in there and show you what I did. So the cool thing of Almanac.io is that you can use this document and with one click, you transport it into your own workspace. And then you just fill it out. It contains everything important. And the cool thing about this is that it actually contains everything. If you just use this, you probably have 90% of what all the others do. Now, of course, the value is also in narrowing it down. So you might want to consider using another one of the ones that we talk in a bit, just because it's more focused. But if you start with something, just this, you cannot go wrong with this template because it really contains everything. So for my project, I filled it out completely. And I set down the goals here in like an executive summary. We want to make around 1,000 euros per year in savings, and we wanted to ship it on Christmas. Now, as I record this video, we have some delay, so it is already Christmas, but that's fine. We're going to extend this deadline in the next days anyway. So yeah, this is what I filled out. I really like this section about prior art because it basically shows what is already existing. That could mean anything that has been done before, which is relevant to this project, and this is something that I would often leave out. So I really like this one, and also the impact here. So what are some metrics that you want? Quantitative and qualitative. This totally makes sense. In our audience, if there's something we want to sell, yes, this really focuses it down. Good template, and I can recommend you checking it out here. The second one is the project charter by Tactical PM. Tactical PM is an influencer on the PM space, and he's selling this template on his website. And it's a very comprehensive template. Let's look at it right now. Tactical Project Manager is a guy called Adrian Neumauer, and he has a big YouTube channel and a lot of templates that you can purchase here from his website, which you have to pay for. It's reasonably inexpensive, so I can encourage you to grab a copy. If you want to know more about him, you can probably email him, which I'm going to do later when I release this video, but also look into his content. For example, this video, this contains the project charter at one point, and I can really recommend you watch this video because he's going to explain everything much better than I could. I also put some of his questions into the template that you can download from my website, but for more details, I would really encourage you to watch this video. 11 documents you need for your project, which describes this really well. And if you like, then grab one of the templates here and pay for it. Thank you, Adrian. And just to make sure, I'm not affiliated with Adrian in any way. What I learned from Adrian is that every milestone should have SMART goals. SMART is, of course, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. Only if the milestones are also SMART, we can actually know when we reach them. And the third template comes from consulting-university.com, which is run by Frederick King, who's a personal friend of mine who lives in Hamburg, Germany. And Frederick wrote a book about the preparation of projects. So he's the go-to person to ask when it comes to project preparation and project kickoff. Now the thing is, his book is in German, so I deliberately translated it into English and put it into our template that you can download from the webpage. So we want to have project title and problems, and also the desired end result. And then how Frederick goes about this is defining partial projects. So he wants to break down the project directly into milestones, and those milestones have results and activities. And I think this is really important to make sure that we're looking at this from a timeline perspective. Also, what I like is that we have this section of not in the project scope, meaning what does not belong to the project, what is something we need to know, we need to be aware of, that we don't tackle that in our project. Relevant for me is the section not in scope. I initially wanted to make a software as a service out of this, but my project should be self-hosted, meaning that's something where we want to focus on making this thing self-hosted so other companies can download it, install it on their own servers. Making a SaaS out of it is not in the project scope. I still think we will do this at one point, but that means we make another project out of it. Number 4 is the Jira Atlassian template. Jira is probably the widest known project management tool. Most people use it because it has really great customizable workflows. And the Kickoff templates is the simplest one I found. It is straightforward, it is beautiful. You can just use it in a fresh installation of Jira. I can recommend it. Let's have a look right now. I don't want to create a Jira account, so this is why I put it here. But you can for sure go ahead and create your own Jira account, and then you will find this template here and /Confluence templates project plan. It contains all the important things. Nothing to complain about. Everything is here. What is interesting, we have a problem statement, meaning we need to state clearly why we are making this. And then also we have these, basically the definition of the MVP, because this is the MVP, this is our must-have. And then we have the things that we saw before from Frederick King, nice to have and not in scope. So this is a good middle ground, I would say, of a project kickoff template, which contains the most important things. Reference materials, I haven't seen that before, but it also makes sense to include. What I learned from Atlassian from my project is that to include a nice to have section actually makes sense. Because, for example, what we could do in our SaaS is include something like a roles and rights management. And I think this is cool to have, write it down, but it's not necessary to tackle this quite yet. Number 5 is the project kickoff document from Shan Puri. Shan Puri is an influencer who runs a podcast called My First Million. He's an e-commerce entrepreneur, and he has this one kickoff document which you can get here from his website. You can download it, and of course we also put it into ours here. We copy the things over and reference them, but you can also just go into his list. Yes, you also need to leave your email. I can recommend it, his emails are great, and the content in general is super exciting. What I like about this is define winning, meaning when do you know that you have won? When do you know that this is actually a success? This is cool. And something I haven't seen from any other template was the anti-goals. So for example, for us would be that this takes longer than 2 months to make, or that this definitely has something which we don't care about, like great design, for example. We want to get this thing out of the door. We want to use it in our own team. So design is not part of it. It's a bit more than that. If you scroll down, you also have a section where he asks you, what's the momentum we can do right now? So if we work for 1 hour right now, what is like the most momentum we can create here? That's really a good question you can ask yourself in this regard. And what I learned from Shan Puri is setting the expectations right. What would be a hell yeah goal? What would be something where we would be super excited about that this worked? What I really like about this entrepreneurial positivity, to really state like, if we get this done, this would be amazing. None of the other templates had that. And that's why I can encourage you for your next project, have a look at that. There is section number 6, and I wanted to touch base on this real quick because it's important to me. When I started making this video, I was asking 2 friends who are really good project managers, people I've worked with mostly. And both of them told me, yeah, no, they're just writing down the most important things in a blank document. And I was wondering, I was asking them, really, is that all you do? It's like, yeah, it's clear what you got to do. You just write it down. And this got me thinking, if professional project managers just wing it, how much more powerful could you be if you're applying a template and if you kind of have a system? It's not so much about getting it right the first time. It is also about the timeline. So if you, let's say you have a template, you make the template, you make the project works, and then you can compare the outcome of the project with the template. But what if you do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times? And you can see over time how your expectations get matched with the reality later. That's the power of the whole thing. You for sure have started some kind of projects. Did you kick it off with the document? Did you just go freestyle? I would really love your experience, love to learn from you. Put it into the comments below and let's start a discussion. And now it's also the perfect time to subscribe to my channel, because in the next videos we're actually making this software project that we have been talking about. See you in the next videos, guys.